Hi guys, so as you would remember at Christmas I got a Megadrive from the wife for Christmas, and obviously when it came it was just the Megadrive with the leads and that was it. So the wife got me a couple of Megadrive controllers from CEX, and yeah, let's just say they were pretty grim. Now just recently, in fact recently as the last 24 hours, I've actually already restored one because they were really grimy. Some of the buttons weren't always working when you pushed them. This one in particular that I'm about to show you, the right side of the D-pad was just not working at all. Or if it did work, it stuck in place and wouldn't move. So I've actually already cleaned this. I hold that just in front of me there. If you look, I mean, it looks really good. It's spotless. It's really clean. I've tested it out. It works perfect. I even cleaned all the little screws up that were in it because they were starting to oxidize. So yeah, and this is really good. I mean, if you listen, you can hear the click in it. You know, it's spot on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same to this one. Only I'm going to record it because I thought some of you guys might be facing a similar problem, and at least then you know what you've got to do to correct it. Now this one in particular I actually think has got an issue anyway, because this seems very loose. So it might be something I can't even repair, but I'll have a look and we'll see what we can do with it. But if you look here, just hold that up in front of me so it focuses. I don't know if you can see all the grime around the buttons. Yeah, look, you can see it there. It's just all round there. If I show you the top here, I mean, look, there's all brown stuff around here. I did actually clean these with an antibacterial wipe, but obviously there's just areas you can't get to with this. So yeah, so I've got to take it apart, give it a good clean. So yeah, basically one of the things I'm going to be using in this video on the board inside to clean it and that is an isopropanol alcohol, because that's the best thing to use. It doesn't leave a residue, it evaporates very quickly, and it worked perfectly with my first one. So I'm going to use that, and then for the plastics and the little rubber bits inside, you know, it's just a case of warm soapy water and an old toothbrush, and that'll come up nice. I mean, as you can see, like I say, this was quite grim, and if you look at it now, look, it looks almost new. So it works nicely. But like I say, it's a little bit of a shot in the dark because this is very loose. There could well be something broken that I can't repair in here, but I'll have a look anyway. Right, okay. So let's get on with it. Right, okay guys, so first things first, what we're going to do is take the screws out on the remote. I'm not going to do that on the camera, I'll do that off camera because, you know, it's not really something you need to see. As you can see here, there's 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to take them out and then we'll have a look at the insides and see how bad it is. Right, okay, so we've got the screws out, so we're now going to just lift the case in, have a look, see what we got. He says, God, this is really gunked up. I mean, that really didn't want to come off of there. Oh, look at that. It's all, I don't know if you can see that. See all that brown stuff around the edge? That's just nasty. Right, so I'll put that to one side because that's going to need a wash. Right, and then what we're going to do is lift the board out. First of all, let's just pull the cable out. As you can see, you've got the little plastic sort of, my own light there. You've got some little plastic bits that the cable feeds around. Quite well designed actually, these Megadrive ones. Right, okay, I think I can see the problem already with that then. The rubber contacts, oh, there it is. Right, now this is interesting because this is very different to the one I've already got. This wasn't the type that was on my other one. Whether it's the right one for it or not is another thing. Yeah, the board is disgusting. You can see it's quite grimy looking. I'll give that a clean. Let's have a look at the contacts and that. Try and get them out. Yeah, pretty grubby. Oh, buttons are disgusting. Look at that, brown around it. So let's just chuck all of them in now. Put that one, I'll show you the contact on this. I mean, look at that. I mean, it looks almost brown looking. Get a good clean. Right, now let's have a look at the button. Oh god, look at that. Yeah, that's really bad. And then there's brown in the button there. Ugh. Yeah, now this is very different to the other one I did, because this part here, it's like screwed in by the looks of it. It's not what the other one was like. The other one literally just sat in and it had your round sort of rubber contact, almost like you know, like the Game Boys, almost like the Game Boys, whereas this one's very different. It's looks like this piece is screwed in, so I'm probably going to have to unscrew all that so I can get to it properly. Let's just do that now, because I'm going to have to take all this out. It all needs a good clean, which would probably explain why this one's so loose as opposed to, take that screw out, yeah, as opposed to the original, because the original one was not like that at all. Right, there we go, it's out. Actually, yeah, other than the top it's not too bad, but yeah, that's all getting cleaned, and then you can see what's underneath it. I mean, look at that. That's pretty drastic. So yeah, okay, right, so I'm going to take all this off, get it sort of scrubbed, but before I do that I'm going to use the isopropanol on the board and that. In fact, actually, I will leave the board. I'll do the board when I do the buttons, because even after I've scrubbed this, it's going to need an isopropanol on it, I reckon, as well. So yeah, well, I'm going to go and wash these in the bit of warm soapy water, and then we'll come back and finish it off. See you in a bit. Okay guys, apologies, because I'm kind of working in my own light a little bit here, so it's difficult to get a decent bit of lighting. So obviously it's quite dark outside today, what with the weather and that, so I've had to try and jerry rig something up so that we can see it properly. Right, so I've washed all the buttons, the casing. I'll show you that in a bit so you can see how that's come up so far. But now we're going to look at the board. So get some isopropanol, and what we're going to do is just go over, bring it up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to give this a nice little clean. All you need is cotton wool bud, some isopropanol, and it'll come up really nice. Obviously these old boards now need a little bit of love. Every now and again you just gotta give them a good clean, make sure everything's working properly. Like I said before, like this stuff, it, you know, it evaporates, it doesn't do any damage, doesn't leave any residue, also known as rubbing alcohol. What you do want to make sure though is, if you are going to use this, make sure you get the right type. You want the 99.9% stuff. You don't want the cheaper 70% stuff and that, because you'll end up probably doing damage to what you're cleaning. So you want to do it this way. It's a little bit dearer, especially with COVID going on at the moment. Prices skyrocketed on it, because a lot of people are now using it as sanitizer. So yeah, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more for it, but if it keeps your old stuff going, it's well worth it. There's a lot of grime on these contacts here. Yeah, look, I mean, you can see it, but you've got to be careful, because you don't want to take off what's on there either, otherwise then you're going to do some damage there as well. Because obviously if you take too much off, and you don't have to do the back, but I always do the back anyway. If you're going to strip it down, you might as well clean everything. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, if you take too much off, then it won't pick up when you're pushing the buttons. You would have damaged it. So just want to give it a light. Now this bit on the back, obviously you've got to be careful you don't pull any wires, but other than that, you can just rub away on this and it'll be fine. It's just the back of the board, so just gives it a little clean, you know. Yeah, just dry that bit I just went over now. Right, so that's all done. Put that down there. Right, now I'm going to show you, actually let's do the rubber parts. We'll do them because they need a little bit of going over. Obviously I've washed these, but I do like to just go over these bits. Again, don't rub too hard because you will take off what's on there. This is just gently, and as you can see it's taking a bit off. But these are the parts that you want to be super clean. This is what's registering your button pushes. So if you don't get these clean, you can end up with where it's not picking it up at all. Oh, sorry about that. Got a runaway pot there. But you just want to give them a nice little dose. Let's use another bud because that one's quite grubby now. So like I say, all that'll end up happening is you'll end up damaging it rather than fixing it, which you don't want to do, otherwise that makes this whole thing pointless. But it'd be interesting to see how this performs afterwards, once I've done this. I mean, I'd already done one already, but obviously this one is the worst one out of the two. And obviously, like I said earlier in the video, it's got this weird bit on the directional, oh, hold it on the camera, weird bit on the directional where it screws into another piece, which I haven't seen before, so that's new to me, that. Yeah, and then we got a white piece which I need to take out, so I know where that is. Right, now before we start putting it back together, I'm just going to show you how it's come out. I mean, as you can see, that looks really nice. It's come up really clean. There is still a little sort of white residue. I don't know if you can see that because the camera's not focusing properly. There's a little bit of white sort of, but I don't think that's the dirt. I think that might actually be where it's maybe took some of the plastic off in the process, if you know what I mean. But it's a hell of a lot better than it was. I mean, it was brown before, so so we've done miracles with it, let's be honest. So, right, okay, so now we're going to start dropping the buttons back in. So, B. You've got to make sure you get these lined up properly. There's A. Slot that in. And they've all got little plastic bits on the edge, so you can't get them wrong. It all lines up in its specific areas, as you can see there. And then you put your little rubber bits on top. Like so. Like that. Then you get your little start button. I always forget which way this goes because you'll notice, just quickly show you, it's slanted. I always forget which way it goes. So I always have to, yeah, it's the wrong way. One side's on the plastic bit's thicker than the other, so it will tell you if it's the wrong way round. Right, okay, now we've got to screw the directional back in. Really, I should have done that first, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to cut here anyway, screw that back in, and then we'll pick up where we just left off. Right, okay guys, I had to do the board going in off camera because it was very fiddly to do on this one. It wasn't on the last one. I had to feed, as you can see here, if I bring it just up a bit closer, you can see these little plastic sort of sprogs or pins, whatever you want to call them. You have to feed the cable round, and obviously this bit needs to be flat, otherwise the back won't go on, because you've got like this little rubber flat piece here. But this part here was sort of all bent around. I'm guessing somebody's had this open before and they hadn't put it back in properly, so it's sort of been pushed into place and it was very difficult to get it to move. So I've actually managed to move it now. So yeah, now we should be able to get the back on. So it was very awkward to do. I was trying to do it on camera and it just wouldn't play. So let's just double check that's still where it should be. It might have moved just a little bit. Get that on. Yes. there we go. Right, screws. And when you put the screws in, just to make sure you don't cross thread them, just turn them the opposite way first, so that they go in how they should do. Because you'll hear like a slight little catch, so you'll know that you've got it in straight. And the other thing I'd say is when you're doing it at the corners to start with, don't fully tighten them until you've got other ones in, because otherwise you risk cracking the casing. So you want to get them in moderately tight, but then tighten them up fully afterwards once you're all completely done. So right, I'm just going to cut it here, put the rest of the screws in, and then we'll test it out, see if it works. See you in a bit. Right, okay, so we got the controller hooked up to the Megadrive. So now it's time to see if it actually works. So set that down there. That's it. Right, let's have a little look, see. Right, so right and left works. So to start. Right, okay. Right, down works. B works. A works. Right, okay. All seems to work. The only thing we can't test is up, so we'll switch games. Right, okay, let's try this out then and see if it works. So we're going to test out the remote, make sure it all works properly. Yeah, don't really care where, just pick it. Yeah, whatever, just put me in a game. All the messing around you got to do just to put somebody in. Yeah, alright, I don't care, just put me in. Right, okay. Right, seems to be working fine. All works fine. Just double check. Yeah, she's running. Yeah, all works. Now I should point out I'm not actually trying to play well at this, I'm just testing all the buttons. Yeah, that all works fine. Right, okay, see you in a bit. Right, okay, so as you would have seen from the last bit of footage just before this, I just tested it out, all works properly. And here's the final shot of it. As you can see, it looks really clean, much better than it did earlier. No grime all around the buttons. This thing, not as loose as it was before, it's nice and it works. So yeah, no brown around the start button. It's all really good. So yeah, really happy with that. So that's 2 controllers all cleaned up, working nice, better than there was when I got them. CEX could learn a thing or two from this, couldn't they, really? The condition they sent to me, I think, was pretty bad considering. I mean, I know they're only £5 each, but then you're paying £1.95 postage on each item, so nearly £7 each, and you know, they turn up. I mean, this one was practically brown. It's just wrong, isn't it? You know, if you're paying that, you should really get one that's been refurbed, shouldn't you? So, or at the very least, it should have got a clean anyway. So clearly someone had been in this one before, but I don't think it was CEX somehow. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Anyway, 2 nice clean controllers that I can now use. Just show you the back of it. I mean, look, looks nice, don't it? You know, you wouldn't have thought it was as grubby as it was. So yeah, so that's the second one I've done, because I did the first one yesterday. So yeah, 2 controllers all sorted now, so now I can play, and they're both as reactive as each other, so they're both good. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope it's helped you guys out. So if any of you were wondering how to go about doing that, now you know. Good thing about Mega Drive controllers, like a lot of the early systems, they're not too complicated when you take them apart. They're fairly straightforward, so you know, once you know what you're looking for, it's easy from then on. So yeah, so anyway, hope you find it helpful. If you did enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe, and also hit our notification bell so that you're made aware of all our future videos and live streams. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Nerdy Geezer out.